What's this? I'm actually on time for one of these reviews? Man, I haven't been able to do that for at least a year now. It's almost new to me at this point. At any rate, I had a nice long break from the show, a whole 2 weeks, and in that time I've been able to launch my Patreon, make some Ninjago videos, and I even finally finished Dairanger. But I'm not here to talk about Sentai again, and will instead go back to the abusive boyfriend that is Neo Saban Power Rangers. I wish I could say that things are going to be different this time around, but after last season, the bar of quality that I have set for this show is at an all-time low. Still, this is the 25th anniversary season of Power Rangers, which means this is my 5-year anniversary of doing these reviews, so at the very least I hope that this season isn't as much of a colossal failure as Super Megaforce was. But I won't know until I actually watch the show, so let's see if Super Ninja Steel can be better than his predecessor as we look at episode 1, Echoes of Evil. The episode opens with a recap of the finale to last season when we cut to space to see Sledge's ship exiting a wormhole?
What dimension is this? Wrench, run a scan for energems.
There's nothing, Master Sledge!
Then we are in a different universe!
Whoa! What's that?
A spaceship!
But what's that stuck to it?
Now that's one good-looking asteroid!
That isn't just an asteroid, it contains a rare metal, Super Ninja Steel!
What are you waiting for? Let's get it!
Yes, Master Sledge!
We're gonna be rich!
Wait, this is where they went after they got sucked into the black hole? Holy crap, that actually makes sense. Sledge and crew board the Warrior Dome, finding the remains of the Galaxy Warrior set, which excites the Master since he can sell the whole ship for scrap. Madame Odious then appears with Cosmo Royale and some Bastrobots, but rather than engage the villain, Sledge offers to fix the ship as long as Odious lets him take the meteor carrying the Super Ninja Steel. After Odious agrees to the deal, Sledge and Wrench get to work on the ship, while one of Sledge's prisoners, named Badana, pledges her loyalty to Odious on the condition that the former general takes Badana with her when she leaves. Odious frees Badana, who tells her about the Super Ninja Steel, and once the ship's up and running, Sledge leaves with the meteor, apparently not concerned that he just lost one of his bounties, but the collector is likely in another universe, so it probably wasn't that big of a deal. Or at least it wouldn't have been had Badana not extracted all the Super Ninja Steel from the meteor before Sledge left. Odious sets a course for Earth, telling Cosmo the Galaxy Warriors is back on the air, before we cut to Summer Cove High, where the former Rangers are just getting back from summer vacation. I would ask why Lee Vaden's not on his world tour, since he's a famous musician, but the tour was only 3 months, and it's been roughly 9 months since the end of last season, so it's possible that he went on tour during the break. Dane returns his trophy, which is a bit of a late development considering how long it's been, before saying goodbye to his sons, and I'll bet you anything that we won't see that guy again until the finale. The teens then sit down to have snacks when they're subjected to an infomercial for monster repellent by everyone's favorite comedy duo, Victor and Monty. Oh, I'm so filled with joy. Though I must say, despite how much I was dreading this scene, it's surprisingly funny with how amateurish this commercial is. The ad says that the repellent has been used to keep monsters away without the Power Rangers, and though Haley says it's a scam, a lot of people seem to have bought into it. Victor and Monty then arrive at the school, saying that they won't be coming back, but that they are donating $1 million to the school, complete with a statue of Victor. Preston asks how the two were able to escape aliens, even though that very question was answered in the infomercial, but it does lead to this flashback and characters saying the word fart. The teens are then called to shop class by Redbot, who says that he's detected a spaceship headed towards Earth, and despite it looking like Keeper's ship, it turns out to be Mick returning in a space taxi and robbing me of the crossover I was promised at the beginning of the episode. Mick says that he's come to warn the teens that Galaxy Warriors is back, before showing Madame Odious announcing the show's new season, and Cosmo introducing a monster called Smelevant to find the Ninja Nexus Prism. The team says they can't let Odious get the prism, even if it is dead, so Brody suggests using the prism to lure the villains into a trap. Odious, Badana, and Smelevant soon land on Earth in search of the prism, leading to this.
Monster!
Don't panic! Use your Miracle Monster Repellent!
It's very close! It's in that statue!
Good work. Beat it, creeps!
Yeah, we're not afraid of you! Hey, you! Did somebody fart?
Whoever smelt it, dealt it!
Excuse me, I don't fart. And if I ever did fart, it would smell like perfume.
Pipe down! It's the humans. You'll never get used to how terrible they smell.
I can take care of that! Ugh, gross!
It didn't work. The repellent didn't do anything. total junk.
You mean like this entire subplot? As everyone scatters to get to safety, Preston materializes a cage above the monsters, but when Brody springs the trap, Odious catches the cage, foiling the ninja's plan. Things are made worse when the teens are captured in the cage and forced to watch helplessly as Odious uncovers the prism. Apparently, the fact that the prism is dead is of little consequence to Odious, who not only revives the prism, but also casts a spell on it to turn it evil after revealing that she has Super Ninja Steel. Luckily, Preston uses his magic to free the teens from the cage, allowing them to take the remaining Super Ninja Steel, and after sending it to Mick, the teens do battle with the monsters. Eventually, Brody stops Odious's dark spell, which results in the prism turning the Super Ninja Steel into the team's power stars, returning them to the Rangers with their element stars and Lion Fire stars. Seeing that the Rangers now have everything they need to stop her, Odious orders Smellephant to take care of the Rangers, and once the Madam departs, the Rangers morph into action. During the fight, Brody mentions something about teamwork before activating his Battleizer, and working together, the Rangers strike down Smellephant. The fight's not over yet though, as the monsters soon gigantified, so Brody calls on the Lion Fire Megazord to finish Smellephant for good. After the fight, Madam Odious says that ruling the universe will be tougher than she thought, before we see the Rangers placing the newly revived prism back in its place. The team then asks Mick if he'll stick around, even though there's been no indication prior to this scene that he would be leaving, and after that bit of false drama, Redbot says that it's wonderful to have the whole team back together again, which was a line so good that they had to repeat it as an unfunny joke. Later, Victor and Monty return to the school, having just escaped an angry mob wanting their money back, and after saying that they value their education, the two beg to be re-enrolled. Principal Hastings takes pity on them, giving the duo their class schedules, and the episode ends with Monty breaking his repellent can, so we can end on a final fart joke. This episode is okay. That is to say that the first half is pretty good, but after the first 10 minutes, things start to go downhill. While Sledge's return was certainly ruined by the trailer, I had no idea he was going to be the first thing we saw for the season, and if I'm being honest, he was the best part of this episode. It's nice that we got a follow-up with who I'm now referring to as Sledge Prime, and if we are actually getting a Ninja Steel Dino Charge team-up for the 25th anniversary episode this season, it could give us the final battle we deserved at the end of Dino Supercharge. On the flip side, if this is all we see of Sledge for the entire show, that would not only leave a massive thread loose for Power Rangers, but it would also mean that Neo Saban tricked viewers into giving this premiere high ratings, which would be the worst thing this franchise could do at this point. Though Sledge's presence did trick me into thinking that said crossover was going to open the season, and when that didn't happen, I was massively disappointed. But that's not the reason this episode loses traction. No, that happens because, like When Evil Stirs, this episode becomes more focused on hitting the reset button as soon as Sledge leaves. However, to this episode's credit, the characters aren't as botched this time around, but that's mostly because half the cast barely counts as characters. Where this episode fails though is with how lazily it gets everything back to the status quo. I am amazed with how easy it is for Madam Odious to just revive the prism, given how big of a deal it was that the thing was taken out of play initially. It also raises the question of why Madam Odious even needs the prism when she has the power to revive mystical objects on a whim, but I'm pretty sure the fact that she can do that will never come up again. Side note, I find it convenient that the prism turned the Super Ninja Steel into the Rangers' Power Stars, despite them being made out of a different material, but it is possible that the team will get power modifications going forward, so I'll let that pass for now. Outside of the weak main plot, the second half of the episode also has a good chunk of quote-unquote comedy, which wouldn't be that big of a deal if any of it was funny. From the totally awkward moment of Redbot repeating a line of dialogue, to the cringe-worthy scene of citizens trying to use the monster repellent, every joke after the infomercial totally missed for me, and almost made the episode as unwatchable as Last Laugh. On top of that, both the laziness of the plot and the bad comedy work against that repellent scene, because if Victor and Monty's concoction would work on anybody, it would be the guy whose main gimmick is that he has a heightened sense of smell. Overall, this is a decent start to the season. While the opening of the episode had legitimate promise with the return of Sledge, and it was entertaining to see the villain come back, as soon as he left, the rest of the runtime couldn't really capitalize on that momentum. Still, despite the terrible comedy and completely lazy way the episode gives the Rangers their powers back, this isn't nearly as bad as what I was expecting at the end of last season. The best thing I can say is this is more or less typical to Ninja Steel's main output last season, but there is enough here for major plot elements to be introduced going forward, which is the main reason I recommend this episode. As far as whether or not Neo Saban will follow through with those elements, we'll just have to wait and see. I'm Nick, aka IronBat1993, and may the power protect you. Please subscribe for reviews of Ninja Steel, Super Ninja Steel. Also check out Dino Charge reviews too, episode reviews. Also there's Ninjago, and I've got a Patreon. Go! Please subscribe.